Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.
Razabani for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me on this Sunday afternoon, I've got the spider himself, Craig Richards. Craig, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, I'm doing perfect, doing great, just grafting hard,
It's taken us a week to get here, you know that?
Yeah, I know, do you know what it is? It's just, I know you're very busy, then I've been busy in camp, we've been clashing our schedules, but we're here now.
Craig, haven't caught up with you for a little while. Just want to recap, obviously the last 6-7 months, the world has literally changed with this whole COVID-19. How's life been for you with this change? How's the family? How's everybody, first of all?
Everything's good, thanks to God, everything's good. We've had our ups and downs through pandemic. I had family members be severely ill, recover. I was ill, recovered. And then we just, been in lockdown, found our way of, making our time useful, putting things in perspective. Kept myself busy over the pandemic. I've done charity bike rides for domestic violence and stuff like that. And, just made my time useful. And then we got back out of the lockdown.
Was it kind of mentally hard to keep yourself active, keep in half decent shape, not knowing when this was going to get better, not knowing when the next fight date was going to be?
Yeah and no. I was lucky, like, we was in touch with the boys and stuff in the camp, and them boys, just like myself, take it very serious. So we was keeping an eye on each other, making sure each other was training, ticking over, and just doing like fitness activities a lot of the time over the summer. But we had no fight dates. Obviously, the boxing gym wasn't open, so we weren't allowed to do that as much as we'd like to. But we just kept a reasonable fitness over the pandemic, and just fingers crossed, and just hope that at some point we'll see light at the end of the tunnel, and we're here now.
We obviously saw back in February, March, I remember being at the, there was a press conference for Derek Chisora and Usyk. The fight was announced, and then all of a sudden got cancelled, and so many shows over the course of the summer get cancelled. So I don't mean to be negative, but right now with current further restrictions, I know you've got a date in November, which we'll talk about, but is it in the back of your mind that, damn, we could go into a national lockdown in the next couple of weeks?
In the back of my mind, I know that there's a possibility we might be in lockdown, but I'm not going to feel like that's going to affect my fight. So I'm just going to keep my head down, train as normal, and focus on that date, and keep any negative thoughts of anything of that getting disrupted out of my head, and keep just drumming off towards that date.
Craig, I remember a couple of years ago, I can't remember, maybe it was 2017, I believe, when you jumped in last minute to fight Frank Buglioni. I believe that was on the anti-Joshua undercard in Principality Stadium in Cardiff.
Yeah, against Shakan, yeah.
You had a week or so notice. You gave a 5 days, great effort from yourself to go the distance with someone like Frank, who's very, very experienced. Since then, obviously, you have recovered and had some other fights. I was there when you fought Jake Paul, which was, again, a clinical performance. And then your last fight was Chad Sugden, which was, I believe, last December.
Yeah, last December.
So if you just assess those kind of 2 years from that first loss to that draw to Chad Sugden, on how career's been so far.
Well, up to the Buglioni, obviously, I was 10-0, unbeaten. Got that offer, 5 days notice. Everyone was wondering why you'd take such a risk with being unbeaten, etc. at super middleweight. I saw an opportunity, although it was a title, the weight above I was used to competing at. After I won the Southern area, I was kind of knocking on the door for bigger things and weren't really getting the opportunity. Nothing weren't opening up. I kind of just wanted to move forward. Got the Buglioni 5 days notice fight, and I thought, well, I'm a fighter. Like, that's what I like to do. I like to fight. So it wasn't about, oh, let's protect the O. It was all about, let's go in there and let's roll the dice and see if we can make it happen. Frank, he was a great champion at the time. I think he was more nearly 50% more knockouts than I even had fights at the time. I think I was 10-0. He had about 15 knockouts, 23 wins or something like that. I went in there, gave a good account of myself, come up short. And then from then, I didn't look at it as in, oh, you took it on 5 days' notice. That's what the mistake was. I thought, what was the errors that you could have improved on besides that? Growing into the weight now, moving up into the weight properly. I did that. I had 3 good guys with winning records. I got them all out there within 3 rounds. Jake Board called me out after the second one. I had one more, got him out of there. Ended up fighting with Jake Board for the WBA Continental title. Got him out there within 3 rounds. And I think I got a bit complacent after that in terms of just relying on my power at one point. Obviously, I was always a technical, skilled fighter. And then I started, when I started getting them out of there consistently, I feel like the Sterling fight, I kind of banked on that, waited for the opportunity. Didn't box how I usually box. Obviously got the job done, dropped him, whatever, but I could have made the job a lot easier. By the time we come to the Shugdam fight, I looked at him and I just thought, you know, let me just focus on Shakan. I was still concentrating on preparing for Shakan even a week before. I didn't really even watch Chad, paying much mind of him. I know they asked us for the fight about 4 weeks. I think it was like 3-4 weeks before the night. I think he was scheduled to box on, I can't remember what date I was even fighting. Say it was the 19th. He was scheduled to fight on the 21st. Shakan wasn't available anymore. Said he couldn't fight on the 19th. I still wanted to get out. So a week later, got a call to say, look, this guy Chad wants to fight 19th. I said, yeah, let's go. Before Christmas, let's just tick the register and wait for the big one. Kind of went in there with that sort of mindset of let's just go in there and tick the register and just move on and wait for the big fight. Didn't really put much effort in it. Still felt like I still got the win. Could have performed 20 million. Sorry about that. Am I back?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, could have went through the gears and made the job a lot easier yet again, but it was complacency again. But now we're back here. Now got Shakan, the fight I've been waiting for. And a camp I can now look forward to and getting up for the fight, getting ready for the opportunity I've been waiting for well over a year now.
I spoke to Shakan back in March when the fight was supposed to take place in March. Obviously, got rescheduled because of the pandemic. I'm sure you watched Shakan's performance against Chad. Did you take anything from it?
Nah, nothing what I didn't expect of what I saw of him and saw of him. Chad's a guy who likes to sit off unless you force the action. Shakan's a guy who sits there at range. He's a tall guy. It was exactly what I expected. He stayed at range. He didn't work his way in. It was just, yeah. It wasn't like, yeah. It wasn't nothing to really even speak on, to be honest.
The fight's been made for November. I spoke to Shakan a couple of days ago as well. He's looking forward to this fight with yourself. He obviously wanted this fight months ago. It didn't happen. Now you got the chance to obviously, you know, make him aware that you're the better fighter. It's the British title's on the line as well. And I just feel like when I'm seeing the back and forth between you and Shaq, there's a bit of animosity. Is my judgment right?
I wouldn't say. I think there was a bit of frustration at first. You know, he didn't understand. At first, when we were finishing off negotiations, he didn't understand that. He went up and I don't know what he thought, or he just went off and started talking about all of this. Oh, I think they don't want the fight and all this and that. I even said to him in an interview, I think it was with Coogan, that be prepared for 19th of December because the fight is going to happen. The time he's been told, he's telling me, nah, he doesn't want to fight December no more. So then it was all this back and forth from politics of he thinking his reasons why the fight's not going on. I had my reasons for the fight thinking it's not going on. It was just bare politics behind the scene. But what I didn't like is that he was trying to tell people I was ducking and dodging him. But when you look at my record and the sort of competition I faced, it was cheeky for him to turn around and say that I'm ducking him. Of all the guys I've competed against, all the guys I've beaten, and the guys I've jumped in the ring with, for him to say that, I found that very disrespectful, because I just thought, like, what is he bringing to the table that the sort of competition I've been in the ring with, for me to duck him?
Would you say he's going to be one of your toughest competitors?
he's going to be one at a good level competitors I've boxed. I wouldn't necessarily say he's going to be the toughest guy that I've boxed, as we say, looking at who I've boxed. He's now he's 14-0. So he had 14 fights. When I boxed Jake, I think it was 12-1 with an 80% knockout ratio. Buglioni, I think he's like 23 wins, 15 KOs, which was probably more fights than he's had. I was only 10-0 at the time. After 7 fights, I've beaten kids with 12-0 records, 6 KOs. Guys with higher knockout ratios back then than he has even now, with the same similar sort of experience. What he does bring, different to the other guys I've fought, is the height. He's about 6'6", so that would be the difference that we have with him that we haven't faced before. So, and that's what he brings new to the table, a different dimension, different dynamic to it. But apart from that, no, I don't think he brings it. Like, I don't think he'll be the hardest. I think he'll be a different sort of opposition, a different puzzle to unfold.
And Craig, it's going to be nearly a year by the time you get in the ring when you fight Shaq. Do you expect ring rust? It's going to be, you're going to be up against the whole environment as it is with no fans. But what about the aspect of not being in the ring for nearly a year?
It doesn't matter. I've been in the gym. I'm always in the gym, always training. I look back. I've had this stuff before. I remember when I was in the amateurs, and I remember even when I won the Box Cup, I was out the ring for a year. Then came back, won it comfortable, got fighter the whole tournament. I know it's just the amateurs, and I look back in passing times, even like when I boxed Jake Ball. It was a while I was out the ring before I finally got to fight Jake. There was no ring rust. There again, I feel I could have even performed better in that, but still had enough to get the job done. Got him out there within 3 rounds. I don't believe there'll be ring rust. I reckon I'll be sharp. I reckon I'll be. Yeah, I think they're relying on me to be flat. I think they're relying on me to have ring rust, but I don't believe so. I believe I'm going to perform very well on the night.
Craig, I remember being at the O2 when you fought Jake Paul, and you had, you bought the numbers, you bought your crowd and your friends and family. They were very loud. In fact, security had to calm them down a little bit because they were getting so excited with your performance. But is that going to be a key aspect? And also, does it almost make it into a completely different fight? The fact that it's going to be behind closed doors.
I don't know. When you look at it, when I spar pretty well with no crowd there. I believe sometimes in the gym I perform even better than I do on the nights with no crowd. So in that aspect, I don't really reckon. I feel I'm determined, I'm focused, and I want to go and get the job done. And I believe that's what I'll do. I don't care if there's a crowd there, no crowd then. I just want to get that job done. Finally tick that off and move on. That's what I'm here to make a statement. I'm here to show I've arrived on the scene. So I'm not going to let the crowd bother me or not. It's always nice to have a crowd there because it's like when I win with the crowd, the people who supported me and the fans. And it's nice, to celebrate victory with those. But it'll just have to be a situation where I'll have to do it after I leave with the belt.
Obviously, Mick Hennessy won the purse bids. It's going to be on Channel 5 terrestrial TV. So a big boost as well. We know, and let's be honest here, numbers generally across boxing are not the greatest, are not where they're not at the levels they used to be. We've seen that across BT and Sky. So a chance to go on terrestrial TV where hopefully you will have more eyes on you.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Did you hear what I said, or should I repeat?
Yeah, you said you said numbers will be bigger on terrestrial TV than numbers have been over the pandemic.
So it's a good thing, right? Being on Channel 5.
Yeah, it'll be good to. It's just good to get out there and get good viewings, and it's always good to have people watching your fights, and that you've got to go out there, put a show on, put a performance on. It'll be something different. I'm used to only obviously boxing on my promotional company. I'm only used to boxing on Sky Sports. It'll be a different thing, and I'm a guy I like challenges. I thrive off challenges, and if you look based on my career as well, every time I'm up against a challenge, up against adversity is when I perform. So I believe this will be good.
Just finally, if Shaq's watching now, you got a message for him?
Just be ready November the 14th. It ain't going to be a boring fight. It's going to be a serious fight, and I'm going to get him out of there.
All right, Craig, appreciate you jumping on this afternoon. Give me a few minutes of your time. Without doubt, we'll definitely be catching up with you again before the fight takes place. Wish you nothing but continued success and keep working hard, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you. And I just want to thank all my sponsors and all my supporters who's been behind me and who continued being behind me. And I'm looking forward to November the 14th. And thank you, guys. Thank you, IFL, for giving me the time of the day as well.
Always, my man, always. Craig Richards for IFL TV. Thank you very much.
Thank you, bro.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.